On FT, it's Mike Shildt, Padres manager, joining us right now, coming off the holiday weekend. Mike, great to have you on, man. And how was the holiday? And thanks for the time.
Yeah, of course, man. What a privilege to be on this show, man. You guys, I'm honored.
By the way, let me just say this, Mike. Now, I've
Talk
been
to me.
chasing you for over a year, or for a year now, at least
He's
the whole
tough.
year. I
He's
mean,
a
I
tough
had the
get.
Padres like 10 times this year, and every time, like, all right, when can we get you? And it was always like, we're focused on winning, and we're focused on doing this, and we don't have time because I have meetings at 9 in the morning when the game's at 10 at night. Like, all this crap answers. But then what happened is you signed a 2-year extension, and all of a sudden, boom, here he is, Mike Shildt. So congratulations on the extension. And that's all. If you would have just told me, I would have gone to somebody, Preller, and said, hey, Preller, we need Shildt to sign an extension. We need him on the show.
You're the best. You're the best.
That's how AJ says congratulations on the
Yeah,
extension,
congratulations.
by the
I'm
way.
happy. You got a 2-year
Yeah.
deal. 3-year. Well, actually, 3-year deal. He's not.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
No,
Did they approach you about this? When did this? Because I'm always interested in the timing with managers. And I know you only had one more year on your deal. But do they come to you in the middle of the season? You start negotiating. Does this happen like as the season's going? What's the timeline? Because no one ever really talks about it. They're just like, oh, Mike Shildt signed a 2-year deal. Congratulations.
yeah, you know what? It happened after the season. I had one more year on my deal. I'm not a big self promoter or hey, let's figure this thing out for a long term. I got a gig. I got a gig for another year. Um, but the season was over, and a week goes by, and I wanted to make sure we had some staff that were not under their contract was up, and wanted to make sure those guys were rightfully taken care of. So I talked to AJ and the leadership and um, ownership and said, hey, let's make sure we keep these guys. We got a really good staff, and to their credit, they did it. And I wasn't really thinking or negotiating on my own behalf, but AJ and Eric Kassin and Eric Rubner brought it to my attention. They'd like to do something, and so we started the process. And 3 or 4 days later, it was done.
That's awesome. Well, congrats again. And let's reflect for a moment. So, you take over this team. This team had a lot of superstars. They had to lose a couple, right? From 2 years ago to this past season. Like a Blake Snell, of course, a Juan Soto. What did you think about the ball club when you took it over? And then now that we're through the first season, how did it kind of reach those expectations for you? Like, what did you know about them? And then afterward, what can you tell us that you've learned from this group?
So look, we cut 90 million in payroll, lost Snell and Hader and Soto, but you looked up, you had a really, really good core remaining. You have, you know, Manny, Toddy, Bogey, Crony, Darvish, Musgrove. You got dudes, right? And then I also know that while we did lose a lot, I know I'm working for a general manager in AJ Preller that is just going to find a way to get talent. He's going to get it done. And man, what a year this cat had. I mean, AJ was what a stud. How he's not exactly the year. I'll do all respect to the people that were nominated and won it. But I mean, this guy absolutely slayed it this year. Getting Michael King and Higgy over from the Yankees with Vasquez and Brito, and we got Thorpe, who we used in the trade for Dylan Cease, gets Dylan Cease, gets a rise. It just kept. We got Tanner Scott, Jason Adam, hoeing at the trade deadline. Martin Perez was undervalued or under the radar kind of an acquisition that really, really helped our club towards the end. And so you knew going in that you had a good core. You knew AJ was going to do his part. He did more than his part. And then, what you learn as the year goes by is what a good group of dudes, man. Great clubhouse, guys that just wanted to play ball, enjoy what they were doing, and most importantly, they just wanted to figure out a way to win together and enjoy it. So, it was a blast till the very end.
Mike, you're building up your own team, and that's an easy thing to do as a manager. Did you hear Mookie Betts' comments about how their series against you guys was the World Series? They knew once they beat you guys that there wasn't any good teams left. Is that a compliment that you take and you're like, I like that? Or are you like, piss off, nerd, we lost to you, we're going to come and get you next year?
I think both teams knew that. We knew it. We felt really confident that whoever's going to win that series had the best chance to win the World Series. And that's what makes it so tough. And yeah, we're coming right back at them.
Good. What's the move then? What's the secret move? What I want to know what is Preller? See, okay, so one thing about the show, we can't call him AJ because then it's me, right? So like we have Hinch on, we have to call him Hinch. So when you talk about Preller, you got to call him Preller.
Yep.
Otherwise, people think like that I gave you the extension, which I would happily would have, but I didn't. Okay, so what's Preller got up his sleeve for the Padres? Because he always does something. It's not like Preller's sitting back there going, "Oh man, I'm super satisfied the Dodgers said good things about us." Like he's doing something.
Yeah, no, he's doing something. This cat, you know him, AJ. I mean, our man Preller, he sleeps very little. He plays a little hoops, and then he is looking to dominate every day on behalf of the Padres. So, yeah, does he have something up his sleeve? He's got stuff up both sleeves, down his pants, in his shoes. I mean, he's got stuff going on everywhere. This cat is always getting after it. So, I couldn't even begin to keep up with hardly any of it. I just tell him when he gets close to something to let me know, and he'll call to run something by me as far as makeup of a player or just thoughts on a player. But he's a force of nature, man. So he's going to do everything he can within the parameter he's given to give us a competitive club.
Not everybody knows AJ Preller is a big basketball guy, so you mentioned it there. Have you been asked and have you accepted playing one-on-one or going 2-on-2 and he is your teammate? Or are you not in that echelon?
Oh, I used to be. I'm from North Carolina, so this is a basketball state. And, so I grew up with ACC basketball back in its heyday. I tell AJ all the time, because AJ talks smack. He will talk some smack about his hoops game. And I understand he can really, really get after it. If I was a little bit younger, I'd love to be able to play and go head up with this cat. Right now, he's got the youth on his side. A little broken, playing a lot of hoops growing up, but yeah, he can ball, and I'd like to be on his team, but I understand I don't want to go see him play because I understand he talks a lot of smack.
He does talk a lot of smack at like 2:30 in the morning at the complex. I'm sure you guys still have the hoop up at the spring training complex. Yeah, they get spotlights. Those are for his games, so it's not. I mean, this was back in 2016, I think, when I was there. Yeah, it's not. He's not. He's taking no prisoners.
Yeah, he's got game though, right?
He can shoot. He's very fundamental. See, I feel like that's where you would be fine because he doesn't have the height, but you'd be fine. Your fundamentals, using the backboard, North Carolina. It's Indiana, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys are good. You don't have to be flashy. You're not going to drive around him. But speaking of flashy and athletic, you guys are looking for a shortstop. You got a freaking 9 guys in your lineup that all play shortstop, and you can't find a shortstop? Like, what are those conversations like? Do you have to go to all 8 of your starting lineup guys that are in the starting lineup that day and be like, can one of you step up and play shortstop in the big leagues for us for 162 games?
You know what? It's a beautiful thing, and it's an interesting point you make because almost all of them want to play shortstop still. And, we'll figure out who it actually is, and maybe somebody outside the organization still. We're not sure. We're still having those conversations internally with our group to figure out who it is on the roster or maybe who it is outside the roster. But, Toddy likes to get his ground balls over there. I think Merrill's pretty comfortable in center, but he'll take his ground balls. And, I don't think Manny wants any part of it anymore, but Crony's always like, I got it. Of course, Crony also thinks he can be a setup guy. I actually probably think he's a closer, but he would defer to Suarez out of respect. But yeah, so we got all dudes all over the yard. Of course, Bogey, did a great job at both this year. So we got dudes everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're not going to move Jackson Merrill from center field to shortstop after 1 year. I mean, that ain't happening. No. Manny ain't moving over there. You ain't taking Tatis out of right. I mean, there's an easy solution. It's just sign Ha-Seong Kim right back. I mean, it's simple. Bogey's, I love Bogey, but, Bogey, you're comfortable at second. Cronenworth, stay in the Crone zone over there first. I mean, maybe, just Ha-Seong Kim, he's out there. He loves San Diego. He'd be a perfect fit. But, all right, Shildt, you came up in the Cardinals organization. You were there forever. You had the Cardinals way. I mean, you probably somewhere on your body you have the the book tattooed on your arm. Like when you needed something during a game, you're like, Tony La Russa would have done it this way. Mike Matheny, don't do whatever he did, but this is the way to go. What's the difference that you've learned? Because you got to manage the Cardinals for a while, obviously moved on to the Padres. What's changed about you, and what's the difference in the Cardinal way when you were there and what you see now on a team that didn't have a great year?
Yeah, it's hard to say what's happened over there now. I do tell you, it's like it's Tony, and then it's Whitey, and then it's Red. Mr. Torrey sprinkled in there as well. So I do have some fond memories and a lot of lessons about how to play the game. It really is. There's no secret formula or bottle to it. It's not necessarily organization has an answer to it. I've been able to get over to San Diego and super grateful to go over there and partner with Preller and our player development department, our staff, and most importantly our players to figure out how to play the game right. We're talking about fundamental basketball. That's what any successful way is, regardless of sport or industry. It's about being organized, being fundamentally sound and being prepared every day to go out and execute at a high level. And you get a lot of really talented people on board to have that vision and be able to execute it. You're going to, have your best chance to shake hands in the games.
Talk about executing the fundamentals, but also talking about superstars. Is it fair what the Dodgers are doing? We have this discussion probably every day now that Blake Snell, is it fair that a team continues to just purchase players and supposedly, quote unquote, build a super team that was a few runs away from getting eliminated in a 5-game series against the Padres?
Yeah, I mean, it's fair by the rules that we play within, right? I mean, they've got a lot of advantages over there, and they, understand and believe. I think we all would do it, take advantage of those advantages, and they, it's a well-run organization, so can't fault them. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about them. I spend way more time figuring out how we're going to continue to take care of them and beat them. We had a good regular season against them and took into game 5, and it's my time and energy is to continue to figure out a way to move our mission forward to take care of business and win that West and ultimately get that big shiny prize at the end with the ring.
How much? I know you said you don't think about it, but how much do you think about it? Because I know as a player, the losses always haunt you more than winning a World Series. Yeah, that's great, but there are times where I'm like, man, if we would have done this year. I mean, you guys had them. I picked you guys to beat them. You guys, I mean, I was like, they got them. You had them at home. They were doing the bullpen game, and then 24 straight scoreless innings, something crazy like that. Like, I know you say you don't think about it, but do you think about your own team and you say, man, if I would have done, I don't even know what you could have done, because it was like, I don't know what happened. It was like you guys were rolling, and then out of nowhere, the script just was completely turned over. So do you think about that series and say, if I would have tried this or done, I don't know what you could have done, because honestly, it was just weird.
Yeah, I don't think about them moving forward a whole lot. Spend my energy. I do think about I do reflect every day and look back at, and utter a little something under my breath, thinking about how that series ended, because, like we talked about earlier, really confident that whoever's going to win that series was going to move on and likely win the World Series. And we went head to head with them. There was a lot of it was a fun series. As far as anything could have done differently. Heck, we had up 2-1, and we had a chance to close them out at our place. They put some good swings, got an early lead and got that one. And then the next game 5 at their place, we got Darvish going, and he threw the ball exceptionally well. Gave up 2 runs through 7 and had more than a chance to put him away. We just couldn't score. And you mentioned the bullpen game. Again, these guys look back at it. They did not miss a spot for 2 games. Between the bullpen and Yamamoto, and then the bullpen in game 5, they just didn't give us anything. And a few times we got an opportunity, they made pitches and got out of it. And so, they pitched well. That's one of the reasons they're World Series caliber club. So, Yes, it's something that I think about. But I don't have regrets in the sense of like, man, I wish I or we would have done something different. There wasn't any sense of the guys like pressing. It just our guys were playing free, and they just they put together two really good pitching performances in back-to-back games, and that was it.
Mike, I want to focus on an individual here. He's a free agent right now. I'm sure the Padres are talking to him among many other teams. Jurickson Profar had a ridiculous year. I'm a big prospects guy. I've been following him for a long time. I'm old enough in this game now to say I can remember when Profar was rated as a better prospect as Bryce Harper in most publications. So fast forward to where we are now. How did he do it? I think in baseball, we get these stories every year. Guy that's been in the league for a while, just suddenly it clicks, finds another level. Sean Manaea is an easy example on the pitching side where he made some tweaks. So, how do you describe the story from Profar and what you saw? I know you weren't with him, obviously, before that, but I'm sure you heard plenty about, where he was at and now how he became one of the best guys in the league at the plate, including a ridiculous on-base percentage.
Yeah, similar to you, I got history with Pro. I was managing 2012 in the Texas League in Springfield, and he was playing in Frisco. And, we had Tavares. So you're talking about big prospects. We had Oscar and Colton Wong, and we were loaded. They were loaded too. They had Olt and Profar, and Odor came up later. But anyway, man, as a kind of talent just came at you, and then he had a lot of injuries, and he got derailed from his prospect status to becoming what now is an elite major league player. I mean, this guy, top 10 MVP quality guy, Silver Slugger. Big. I won't say the heart and soul of our club because that wouldn't be fair. We had a lot of heart and soul in our club, but he was a big part of it, man. And the thing about Pro that I feel like it clicked for him is he's got to that place you mentioned. A little bit later in your career, he got healthy. He took advantage of his experiences, but he'll kind of paraphrase what he would likely say is he was able to just go out and play free. But then just trust his ability too. He went through that learning curve of, especially with some of the analytic stuff, like, everything, fact checking his swing and using all the tools and making sure everything's right. And, maybe getting a little bit too bogged down with some of the mechanic things instead of just trusting his really, really amazing talent and just going out and playing the game and then using his intellect to go play the game too. He's a really, really smart player that sees the game well, knows situational baseball, can handle the bat well, can handle the situation, knows how he's going to get pitched, does his homework. This guy did as much homework as probably anybody in our club that, was prepared for every situation. So, just a perfect storm of ability and preparation and trust in his own and trust. And the last one is the competitive spirit this dude has. This guy is a stone cold killer, man. I love this cat. He has fun playing, plays the game respectfully. But he is coming to beat you every single day, and I just love his desire to win. And clearly we hope we can get something done. He can come back and help us, in 2025 and beyond with the Padres.
Hey, he could be your shortstop. I played with him in 2013 with the Rangers. He was a shortstop too.
True.
So, maybe make him the shortstop. I don't know. Well, real quick though, before we let you go, I know you got a lot of things to do, like work on your dunking. So when you see Preller, you can dunk on him. Give us a quick Manny and Nando, just something small that nobody knows about. Because like people, you hear stories about Manny. Every time I see Manny, he's great. Every time I walk into your clubhouse, he's great. He says hello. We talk. I don't know Fernando as well, but he always says hello when I see him. So give us something about those two guys that maybe the average, even San Diego person doesn't know.
I think the San Diego people know, but they're both like really, really good-hearted dudes. And I'll tell you this, we played actually in St. Louis and got walked off. Nolan hit a ground ball at the middle, get walked off. And I had a good friend of mine and her kid, her son, and a buddy of his at the game. And so, you get walked off and, man, we were laying it out there. We're fighting for a playoff spot. And but both kids, I'd given them balls before the game, and they had the balls, and Manny's walking, from the dugout, and they're like, "Hey, Manny, you're my dude. Can you sign a ball?" And he doesn't know these people from Adam. He doesn't know they're close friends of mine. He goes over and signs a ball, and these kids, they're 8 years old, 9 years old, whatever old they are, and they go home and they're like sleeping with the ball for like a month. So I just get the privilege of seeing how these guys handle themselves, handle their business, but really, really good with kids and really, really care about giving back to help the game in that regard, and they're just good dudes, man.
That's good. Hey, real quick before he goes, all right, you got to ask you, since I only played on one of the two, better fans. San Diego's killing it right now, or Cardinal fans, because San Diego, I mean, every time you guys took the field in 2024, it was like, the Padres have a new attendance record.
Yeah.
By like one person. It was like every night they added one person so they could keep announcing this. And then the Cardinals, for years, always were the greatest. So Cardinal fans or Padre fans? I know you're going to say Padres because you work there. But deep down?
It's a tough one, man, because they're both great but different. And you know this, AJ, because the Cardinal fans are way more traditional, really serious about the knowledge of the game, very respectful about the game, very studious in the game. They're going to cheer opposing players, making great plays. So that fan base is, generational, and it's an education. So the fans in St. Louis are probably, if not the most educated, sincere baseball fans that there are. The Padre fans are the most passionate. I mean, it's a party. And they know the game and they love the game. They just express themselves in a way different way. But our whoever operates and does our game, game management or game, fan inclusion, whatever you want to call it, they kill it because it is an absolute blast. These people our Padre fans are having a blast. They're having fun. There's music. There's mariachi. It's just they love our players. Our players, have a great relationship with them. There's enthusiasm. But so the Padre fans are just unbelievably fun, and it's just a good time, and it's just a wonderful fan base that I'm really enjoying.
I agree. Whoever runs ballpark operations in San
Diego, it's
gotten
so much better.
It really feels like a party. I've done it enough in the modern times here in the last 5-ish years. It is like a party out there. So whatever they're doing, keep it going. Well, Mike, this was awesome, man. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it, and also for putting up with AJ's unique way of congratulating you on the extension.
Him.
No, I thought it was perfectly stated in AJ form.
All right, guys. I appreciate it, man. It's good hanging with you guys. I cannot wait to come back, AJ.
Hey,
yes, you heard it on your live. By the way, Shildt, thank you so much. I really do. I know I bugged the crap out of you, so I really do appreciate you coming on. And, Merry Christmas, Happy Halloween, Merry Thanksgiving, whatever you want to say, Happy Festivus, yes. All those holidays all in one. Hope you have a great winter, and hopefully we'll talk to you again after the new year.
All right, Feliz Christmas.
Yes, there you go. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.